nowadays, not only there is so many film festivals, there is so much content. So I learned not to be disappointed if I didn't get into the festivals that I wanted to do, because there's so many other festivals that they would love to have the film.
When did you start submitting Abrazo to film festivals?
So we shot Abrazo in January 2023. We wanted to send it to Cannes Film Festival, and I think the deadline was April. So we had a few months to turn it around, and we did that, and it was ready. And so since April 2023 until, I want to say, last month, we've been touring with festivals. We started submitted, yeah.
And what does abrazo mean in Espanol?
Embrace.
Embrace.
Hug.
Okay. A hug. Okay. And how long did it take you to come up with that title? Did you always see it as that?
Yes, I just knew it. Like, once I had this story and I knew where it was going to end, I was like, oh, yes, it has to be that. Yes. Originally it was called El Abrazo, the embrace. But then my co-writer was like, no, I think just abrazo is more powerful. And he was right.
Abrazo, okay. And the Z is sort of like an S. It's like more silent.
Yes, in Spanish, the Z sounds like an S.
Okay. Okay, beautiful. How many film festivals? I think you told me a little bit. We'll just repeat it.
I think we've gone to about 35 film festivals.
And do you go to each one?
No, I go to the ones that I can. Like all the ones that they were in LA, in the X, in the Film Fest, I went to those. And then I was in Italy when we got selected to Carles. I was able to go to one in Italy as well. So I try to go as many as I can, but depending on budget and location and all that.
Can you talk a little bit about your film festival strategy? What's your vision? Where do you want to apply to? Do you make plans to?
I usually start, you want to get the A festivals, which are the biggest one. There are Toronto, Cannes, Berlin. I've been to Berlin with a film as an actress myself. So I was like, oh, I want to go there again. So you start for the A list. And then when that doesn't happen, you go B and C and D. So just like, and again, I believe someone told me that it's a 5% rate. I was told once that like if you apply to 100 film festivals, you're going to get into 5. And I realized that was true. It's really, nowadays, not only there is so many film festivals, there is so much content. So I learned not to be disappointed if I didn't get into the festivals that I wanted to do, because there's so many other festivals that they would love to have the film.
And forgive me, how long is Abrazo?
16 minutes, 40 seconds.
And is that considered too long, or is that okay?
Yes. So, for example, for Cannes, it has to be 15 minutes and under. And I believe for most film festivals, they want like a 15-minute short. Like that's kind of like the standard. So I did 2 versions. I did one for Cannes and one, that's the version that you guys can see. So I only tailored one for Cannes. And I didn't really like the cut because it didn't feel like it was flowing, it was way much short. Like I like the spaces we have in Abrazo. I like that we have time to breathe and kind of to digest, because it's a short story, but it's so much thing happening and so many topics we're talking about, immigration, pregnancy, motherhood. So it's a lot. So I wanted to have these moments of silence to be powerful. So in the end, that's why we end up about 17 minutes.
Yeah, I love that. And I love you use the use of pictures to also paint the character, who that character is.
Yes.
And I think it's very powerful. Do you submit a private link for every film festival you enter?
So I go to Film Freeway, which is a big platform. So you just put your film in there and then people just take it from there. Right. That's been my main. Some festivals, the international ones, they want to have their own submission. So yes, you have to submit a private link to each one of them.
How do you know, though, that they've actually watched it?
Because they'll tell you if they want the film or not. You can tell which ones they're just doing it for the money, and the other ones that they're doing because they believe in the art. But some, they just want you to submit a fee, And then when you go to the actual festival, it's like, I don't want to say fake, but you can tell that it's not like a real thing. It happens, definitely.
Well, yeah, and it's like, because I've thought about that. What are you paying for? Even if you don't get the laurels and you don't win, you're paying for an experience and to see the film up there. And if you can invite people to go, and there is a rush you get from seeing your work up on the big screen.
Absolutely.
And listening to the audience gasping or super quiet in a situation. And so even if you don't win anything and it's
No, that's a win. Just to have it play on the big screen is a big
Right.
win. I remember being in Italy when we show Abrazo for the first time and seeing people's reaction. It was such a different reaction than in the States. And it was so, it was different. It was beautiful. It's like, that's so nice that you get to sit with other people. And at the end, they have so many questions, because like they don't know Italy also has their own immigration problems, but they didn't know about the immigration problems. Maybe they've heard on the news, but like when you show them the film, like, oh, wow, we didn't know this happened. And they have so many questions.
Interesting. Yeah, and so when you showed it in the States, did people have very specific questions that were much different? I mean,
yes, I feel like in the States, the questions, were related to the characters and all that and the story. But more in Europe, it was like, oh, we didn't know this is happening. It was like, oh, we didn't know there is people living like this and doing this.
what did you learn about film festivals after screening Abrazo and submitting it?
I learned many things. One, as you said before, don't be disappointed if your movie doesn't make it to a film festival, because sometimes it's not. I had film festival telling me, listen, we love Abrazo. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit with the theme we have this year for the panels and for everything, but we would love to see your work in the next time. So I've learned that sometimes it's not about the quality of your work, but whatever agenda the film festival has. So that's one of the things, like, don't be disappointed, because it's sometimes even about acting and auditioning. Like sometimes you're not chosen, not because of your talent, but because you didn't fit quite the role or the vision that the director had. So I learned that. But also what I love about being film festivals is like getting to see other people's work. Like I got to see so many short films that I would never be able to see them before, because short films, they live at film festivals. That's where you get to see them and meet people. And what I loved, and this happened to me at Chandler Film Festival in Arizona, when we show Abrazo, at the end of the day, when we had all the directors coming to talk about their film, most of them they're women, and most of them they were actresses, screenwriters, producers. So it was so nice to see so many women filling so many roles in their own films. So I was like, oh, I'm not the only one who's doing this. That's so cool. It's so great to see that, other actresses, they're also producing their own content. They're also telling their own story. So that was very inspiring.
Yeah, I love the Q&As behind,
Love the Q&As, yes.
Even the shorts.
Yes.
Just to know. Watched some great shorts over the weekend, and one that was really fascinating was a prison love letter thing, and the person had worked working with prisoner letters, and it inspired it, and it was I never would even imagine that was something that would take place.
Absolutely, and also I remember at Chandler too, after I show my movie, because you watched. You have a block of a few hours when you see all the movies in competition with yours, because you were in the short film category. And at the end, I had this woman called Renee Garcia, who she had her own short film, which I loved. And she came to me at the end and she said, I love your short film. It was my favorite. I'm a director. She said, I'm a casting director too. I'm a producer. How can I help you? How can I help you do your next project? Oh. I was like, wow, this is so, I get goosebumps. So beautiful to see women who are supposed to be in competition being like, no, this is not a competition. I love your work. How can I help you? And since then, we become really good friends, and we both try to help each other. So that was very beautiful to see. Because it is a very competitive industry, So when you find those rare people that they're like, how can I help? It's like, oh, thank you. There is hope.
Yeah. Maybe this was in Arizona that you met. Yeah, maybe outside of LA or New York.
She's from LA though.
Oh, she is? Okay,
yes,
well, that negates that
so
then.
it was like,
Okay, well then
maybe she's 1 in 100, but it was very refreshing.
Yeah, I was going to say, she must not have been from LA. But yeah, it is. I mean, maybe, do you think shorts are as competitive as the feature? Because everyone kind of knows, okay, shorts are your stepping stone.
Yes. I think they can be if the film festival has awards, because not all film festivals have awards, but this one you have best short film, best female director, So I feel like sometimes it can become that, but I feel like you're right. I feel like the level of competitiveness is definitely much lower if you're having a feature film.
Right. Yeah, I feel like with short festivals, there's a little more camaraderie, but maybe I'm just
No,
seeing
you're
it through
right.
that lens.
You're
but
completely
yeah.
right. Yes.
Yeah, but I get it. It's different if you're up for an audition or something like that. But even in LA, I feel like these short festivals, it's a little more light-hearted.
Yes, I agree.
On your next short film, will you do anything differently?
Yes, I would definitely give it more time. I feel like Abrazo, because the time of the budget, we only had 3 days to shoot it, and I feel like I could have done with a 4th day just to, to go into more details. I feel like looking back, it's like, oh, I would have added this, I would have done this shot, and I feel like because of timing, so now I want to give it more time and just be more picky with little details.
Do you think you'll ever turn it into a feature?
That's the idea. I've had many people at film festival asking me like, what happens next? We want to know what happens next. So a lot of people have told me that they want like a continuation, like of Abrazo. Many people told me like, how about you use this first one and you just keep adding and you make a feature film out of it. And for me, it's like, I already did it once, so I wouldn't want to do it again. So my idea is to tell what happens 5 years after to this character.
Yeah, that would be great.
That's the idea for my next feature film. It's that. It's like what happens to her 5 years after.
Right, and some of the ancillary characters in it, and yeah, that would be great. But just out of curiosity, did you stay at the location with your crew?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you did? Okay,
yes.
So it was the set, but also lodging.
Yes,
oh.
We stayed there. We give some people, we give them hotels. Like what I did is like my homies, they stayed there in an RV. We had like 2 little campers, so they stayed there. And then the people that I had work more, I want to say professional, but people that I wasn't that comfortable with, we put them in an hotel.
Oh, okay, right. And this is in the high desert.
Yes.
It's a beautiful location, and I felt like it did embody the main character.
Yes.
A lot.
Yeah, the location was great. And even like, as you said, the sounds, the wind, was a constant element there.
Right. It kind of represented who this person was to. And where did you find the location?
A friend of mine, Ursula, that used to be her, I want to say like summer house. Oh. And so she does use it.
So I wasn't sure if there were certain location sites that you go to, or with Airbnb.
I had been in her house before, so I remember it. I was like, and I think then when we're doing location scouting, I think my husband and I was like, that's a good spot, let's go back. So we went back with Ursula with her and we checked it. I was like, yeah, this is great.
Wow, yeah. And then also the little touches that you added to make this character come to life were great. The pictures on the wall, things like that.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end. Here is a complimentary question from our book Story Questions.